Hey, welcome to this week's show. It's that time again. It's Wednesday. Must be 11 a.m.
And there you are. I mean, the crowds are rushing in, and
Yeah.
you know,
All right.
the,
So Andre and I
the production help
had
is about as useless as it's always been. So
yeah, and
we just have to live with it.
Yeah, we've decided we're going to try and be a little bit even punchier on our show and keep it to about 15 minutes. So it's a tough order when you got both me and Andre competing for speaking time, right?
15 minutes, right? That's it.
Yeah. All right. So let's get into it. I mean, we've set the stage a little bit about bidding best practices, but we have a mechanism to be able to help you infuse those best practices in your organization, and it's called the Flooring. It's called the Flooring Academy. So let's just bring that up here. And you remember we talked about this last week. It's the place that anybody can go to really improve the skills, capabilities in their organization. And we mentioned that it's all about improving the overall business, the revenue. The outcomes are obviously improved revenue, profitability, and better cash flow. But it's underpinned by 4 key disciplines. And it's all about developing the entire employees within the business, a place for them to go to get best practice. And Andre and I, in fact, just before we got on the show, Andre had found some other real key best practices in bidding effectiveness. They're so good, but we're not ready to share them on this show. But let's tell you how you can get.
That's really good of you, Mick. We've got these great things, but we're not going to share with anybody.
No, well, I'm trying to create a little bit of intrigue. At the end of the day, you've got to join the academy to really get the full stuff. But don't worry, in the closing minutes of the show, we're going to be giving you, some real key bidding best practices. So don't worry, we're gonna let you have that.
Yeah, Mick, just very quickly, I think the big thing is with the academy and yeah, there's some obvious things there, but really we do give you, those performance dashboards are very powerful tools that the best of the best are using, and they're using them very effectively. So there are some real insightful stuff that we get within the Flooring Academy. So, I'm extremely excited. I can't wait for our launch. And I've already seen so many people that you're talking to that are, wanting to participate in the Academy, get their people engaged in, 2000 and goodness, 22. Can you believe this? Hey?
Yep.
Unbelievable. Hey? So, really kick off 22 with a good bang. So this is something I'm really excited about.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've really distilled down the essence of, of course, any company has to have a number of key disciplines, but for commercial flooring companies, this is what we've really peeled it down to, is the essence of what, if you get these 4 things right, you can be immensely successful. I mean, do you just want to educate us a little bit about the?
Yeah, Mick, first of all, I have had some good, strong debates about. First of all, there is no getting it right. Okay, it's not a get right and get done. Okay, so these are disciplines that we will work on pretty much in perpetuity for the life of our business, and it doesn't matter whether our business is running in great stead or in, even stead or in poor stead. It really doesn't matter. And the thing about this is that there has to be a way that we know about our future, and more importantly, secure our future. So how we secure our future is the 2 disciplines around that is our lead generation system and our pipeline management. So that is all about securing the future. And I really like the word securing the future, because if we think about it as this is the mechanism that we're going to use to secure the future, suddenly the way we think about these those 2 key disciplines change slightly. Okay, so remember, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. There you
Right.
are. Okay.
Yeah.
So then we get into now the areas of about the current. So what we just call it work in progress. But work in progress is all about the current. That is, the ability to deploy operational excellence, execution excellence, and it is very disciplined. So, we want to be very creative in the way we secure our future. We want to be always innovative in that area, always being, really responsive to the direction of our customers. But when it comes to the current, we want to do that well, and we want to do it consistently well. And then, of course, we've got to have a mechanism to always know how and where do we get better, don't we? All right. So that we just call it dashboards. My view on that is it's called know our numbers. When we know our numbers and we know the right numbers, the numbers guide our behavior. And guiding our behavior in the right direction, right, gives us the ability to always get better. And so if you think about it in this very broad context, it's a beautiful way to run a business, and specifically a commercial flooring business. And there are really uniqueness for, our commercial flooring industry. And this is a template of really, and it is a template because we believe that every organization, at least the organizations we touch, hey, Mick, need to do this well. And I think the Flooring Academy is a very, very efficient vehicle to make this happen. So, Mick, we're going to talk a little bit about now. I mean, people want to say, okay, well, I don't know about this Flooring Academy. I don't know what the hell these guys are talking about. They always say, we don't know what the hell they're talking about. That I understand, right? But, just what I was hoping we could do today is get a little bit of a feel for, what if we had to peel the onion, what does that look like? So some of the things that we would be actually doing within the Flooring Academy. And I thought we'd try and take something that is sort of a little bit simple, but really powerful. And one of the areas is really, our BID, best practice management, let's call it module within the Academy.
Well, very, very eloquent, Andre. I think that was a great summary. And I think one of the key things that you said there is really pertinent. And that is, in order to get better numbers, because we are flooring by the numbers, you mentioned we've got to do things differently. We've got to drive different behaviors, better behaviors, leading behaviors. And in order to do that, that doesn't happen automatically. There's got to be an approach around learning and collaboration. And I know this is something that you're passionate about, Andre.
Yeah, actually, you know what, Mick? I forgot about that slide. So
I know you were talking about the next one, but I know you're
going to do it properly. You know what I mean? It's just like, okay, it just shows you, man, my thing. No, but yeah, I mean, Mick, I think we've done a lot of research around this, and we didn't just come out of thin air, right? This came from the way that we saw people react in a positive way that really worked. It just worked. You know what I mean? And there were these sort of four key elements. We want to promote learning. Learning is the foundation to change, right? Okay, because we want to change in the right way. And what we also find is the more collaborative we do things. Now, in the Flooring Academy, this is the very interesting thing about collaboration. Hey, Mick, are you waiting for this, right?
I know where you're going with it. I'm very excited to hear you explain it.
In the Flooring Academy, not only are we talking about collaboration between our own people, but we're talking about collaboration with, there you are, multiple like-minded companies. Right. So there may be 10, 12 like-minded companies that participate in that same interactive meeting, right? And so that others are that they know the business, but others are saying, well, what am I doing in my organization? How's things? And slowly but surely you get to this network of people that are in the same industry, yet have many, many beautiful ideas, and different ways that create success.
And I know some of you are thinking, oh, I don't know about that. I don't want to give away my competitive secrets. But these 4 disciplines are fundamental to the success of any company. And if everybody raises their game, the tide floats all boats. So we'll be sharing those best practices. It's not as if you're going to go steal business from somebody else in the academy. You're just going to better yourselves and your employees. And our goal for the academy is, we want to help all flooring companies get better. We want the industry to get better. It's a great industry. And so this collaboration and sharing of best practices, because you do it anyway. You go to whatever your particular affiliation is, maybe Fuse, maybe StarNet, and you network and you learn things. We're going to create an acceleration and a melting pot where that can happen, much more significantly. And more frequently.
Yeah, and more regularly, Mick. I mean, we're meeting every second week, right? The whole shooting match is, we meet every second week, right? And, in the beginning, I know it's going to be a little bit of, hiding behind the curtain, whatever the case is. But afterwards, we get to know each other. We get to know the email. We get to know. And here's the thing. I can promise you now, whatever you think your competitive secrets are, we know them already. So, and trust me, we're going to share them.
So we're going to share them anyway, so you might as well take advantage.
So if you think you've got competitive secrets, forget about it. So don't even go there. Just wipe that out of your mind. But the important part about this is, guys, once we have the collaboration, we land up implementing. We are doers. There's no doubt about it. We get stuff done, right? And of course, the outcome is we always want to get better. That is, it is our foundation. It is what Flooring by the Numbers is all about. So this is really exciting. Mick, let's move forward. We're gonna race through this.
So as Andre said, we wanted to pick something. This is just a microcosm, inside the Flooring Academy, and we've picked. So here's the core competence. Remember, one of the core competencies is that sales pipeline management. So within there is the bid to contract process, an element within there, a process within there. And we want to help you make that process more effective so you can win more of your bids. And it's not just a starchy, PowerPoint presentation. We're going to have a little bit of fun. We've created these, best practice maps that we will actually send you stick on your wall, with Post-it notes, and we're going to take you through some, iterative exercises to really bring that whole process to life for a, broader audience in your company, and to be able to tap into the insights from our, flooring best practice community. So imagine that map being on the wall, and Andre and I will be, every second week we'll be doing, 90 minutes of discussion, dialogue, and training, telling you how to use that map as a device for improvement.
Right. So as you said, this is a microcosm. This is an element of the program. And remember, guys, I'm going to be quite blatant by this. Is you're not going to have 2 weeks in the Flooring Academy and suddenly you're going to become Microsoft. It ain't going to happen. All right. Okay. The Flooring Academy is designed for continuous, education and improvement. You will get there over time. And one of the components, like Mick said, is, we got to have a certain degree of standardization, right? Within everything we do. There is a certain degree of standardization. And we're also going to talk a little bit about the Academy, about not only do we have standardization, but we also have a degree of specialization so that we have the ability to allow people to do what they absolutely do best, right? And I know this is going to be a little bit contentious, maybe, but there are ways that we have. I mean, we've discovered this through research, we've discovered this through observation, and we know what works. So hey, take it as it is. We know it works. And if you go into this whole bid to contract process, you'll see just the very key elements, all right? And really what we want to do is the map that you will receive in your bid package. So everybody gets not a bid package, pardon me, an academy package. So you get a nice little box with a whole lot of goodies inside those boxes. It's going to be like, opening up a multiple presents within those things. You know what I mean? What do they call those dolls? Those dolls, Mick, that you put on
the Russian dolls,
whatever you call it. Okay,
yeah.
So it'd be one of those, all right? Okay, there'll be a whole lot of goodies inside there, right? And, one of those is going to be your bid to contract maps. And the map that you will get is what we call the working map. So part of this
is a simplified version of it, but suffice just for our quick conversation today. This would be an unpopulated process flow that you would get on a bigger map that you can stick on your wall.
Yeah, it's big. It's printed in that, yeah. I mean, so and really the whole idea behind this is just to provide guidance. Okay, so there is some key things that we have to do, and we plot that. And remember, this is the working map. And what we get you to do during the course of the academy, in this specific example, we get you to take your map. So each individual organization, after the introduction, which is, remember, the introduction gives us, the why we're doing this. And then, how we're going to do this is through your own working sessions, where you are going to identify where there's potential opportunity within the standard process. Okay, so you may even change some of this and say, well, for efficiency reasons or for the type of business, you may change some of this, which is fine. And then what we want you to do subsequent to the homework, let's call it, we get to a place where we believe is best practice. And let's move to the best practice.
Right, and so what we would be doing, we'd be sharing, collective ideas. The collective intelligence will be increasing, but we already have about 30 to 40 best practices in the bid to contract process that we've distilled from working with, over 60 flooring companies. And we'll just talk about, one or two, probably three, just to give you a highlight of what those, and we'd be teaching you how to adopt, how to implement these best practices.
So Mick, just quickly before. So guys, once you've seen your, let's call it your skeleton map, you'll notice that some best practices has already been identified. And really what we're looking for is where your improvement, so those little red flags become your improvement opportunities. So, and what we'll find is that there's certain customer interactions that should be happening that aren't happening. So the key two elements that you get out of this, the benefit that you get out of this, is not only just a standardized process that you can share with everybody, number one. Number two is the things that we have to do to make it better, the red flags. And the second thing is, okay, how do we interface with the customer to ensure that we improve our ability to win? So that's all I wanted to say. Yeah. Okay. All right. So you can help us.
Yeah, very good. So some examples, and we're already approaching 20 minutes, so we've over our 15 minutes. But look, we promised some best.
I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah. The first thing is, even before you submit a bid, right? Your most strategic leverage is what before you've accepted the bid, because the GC is coming to you and saying, hey, Andre, we want you to expend a lot of resources putting together a quality bid. I know it's going to take you a lot of work, but we want you to be a partner. We value your insight, and they're selling to you. At that point, don't just click, yeah, we'll put a bid in. Send me the documents. Talk to the bid manager. Start asking them what is important to them, what's they really looking for. And what you want to do is to set a relationship with that bid manager, a peer-based relationship. So you might ask them questions about, well, when will it be awarded? Well, there are certain dates that they're going to give you and say, look, I'm going to call you on those dates and follow up to find out, the progress. And then on those dates, you can call the person and say, do you remember we said I would agree, I would call you, and you set up this joint accountability. But more importantly, the key thing about this is you're establishing a peer-to-peer relationship. You're just not some random bidder, some supplier that they're going to wring as much free work out as possible. But now you've become a peer in that whole process. So you've set some expectations, you've asked some key questions, you've already set yourself apart before you begin the bid. It's huge. And we're going to have a whole, training about some of the techniques that you can use. That's best practice.
And Mick, I mean, this, Mick, I know this is one of the things that you discovered is, and I really, just one quick thing. The ability for you to get your GC to answer the phone call. They'll answer the phone call when they're selling to you. In other words, when they need your bid, right, they will answer that phone call. Yeah, once you've given the bid, trust me, it becomes a hell of a lot difficult. So if you want your GC to answer the phone call, this is the time to get that engagement. Isn't that right, hey Mick? And as
you put it in such a practical context, Andre. That was exactly the point. There's nothing more frustrating when you've done all that work and you're calling the GC, they're not calling you back because they're busy and at the moment if you're just a number, they're not going to call you back. So best practice number 2 is you need to not be a number. All right, you need to have an emotional connection. The key best practice strategy we're going to be teaching you about is how you can build that emotional connection with the bid manager so it's hard for them to say no to you. The more time that you spend talking to them, the more intimate you become, the more value that you deliver in your conversations. They're not just going to look at the numbers and say, yeah, we'll throw that one out. They're going to say, no, that's Andre. I mean, he's put a lot of work. We really trust him. He's answered some of our critical questions. We've changed our bid and some of the specifications based on his technical expertise. Man, this guy stands apart from the others. That's where we want you to be. And we're going to give you some techniques so that you're not just a number, because we don't believe in, just give us the last look. No, we need you to build that relationship. So that's best practice, number 2, and there's a lot of training behind that. And then the third best practice, this is killer, guys. This is killer, right? So some of these processes take, these contract processes take 6-9 months, right? And in all of that 6-9 months, there's like a 1-week award window where everybody on the GC side is getting together and they're looking at those final bids and they're making the decision. And if you're not present in that week, that 9 months worth of effort, it just evaporates. So you need to know when that award window is. You need to have gotten the permission by building that relationship so that you can participate in the award window discussion time. Absolutely key for you to be present. That will dramatically change your win rate. And we're going to give you the techniques to be able to identify the award window, to get permission. In fact, the GC is going to be calling you because they want your participation in that window. So those are the 3 best practices.
And Mick, our research shows, there's no doubt about it. This is, if people just sit back and say, and they listen to that, they can make a fundamental difference. 3 things. But here's the real point. The last thing where you said, we've done research, hey Mick, that says that we only asked one question. When people have won the bid, we said, did you have the discussion during the award window period or the award period. And the yes answers, the actual win rate was 3 times greater.
Right.
3 times, hey guys, 3 times. Think about it. 3 times greater than what it was if that discussion wasn't had. I mean, you know, so think about that. You need to then, it works out to be something like you need to do 50% less bids. If you only do one thing, just listen to Mick's point number 3. Just do that one thing. You can have more success with 50% less work.
All right. So that was just a little. You can implement those 3 tips to a certain extent. We're gonna school you in how you build that competence and that capability internally. You know, within the academy. And you can find out more about the academy if you go to our website, flooringbythenumbers.com. You'll see a big button in the navigation bar, Flooring Academy. Click on that, and you can find out about the academy. We think it's going to be a fantastic way for us to help you build skills, build success, build higher levels of profitability, and you know we're going to have some fun on this on this journey together.
Perfect, Mick. 15 minutes exactly.
Yeah, 15 minutes Andre time. There you go. So look, thanks for joining us today. Always, you know, you can get more improvement tips. You go to our blog on that site, Flooring by the Numbers. Some great tips on there. And we're also Andre and I launched our podcast again, Flooring by the Numbers podcast. You can find that on the website. You can find it on iTunes. And we share every week, come out every Tuesday. If you're driving in your car, that's another way of, you know, starting to understand some of the best practices we've got and get a little glimpse into what the broader academy might look like. So thanks for being with us today. Any feedback, always welcome. So
Mick, did you tell the audience I've removed the bullet holes from the back of my wall?
Yes, so your office looks very professional.
Nice, eh? I mean, yeah. It eventually got there. So, but
I'm impressed.
Hey, I mean, you know, who's looking anyway?
Yeah. All right. Well, look, thanks for being with us. We enjoy it as always. We're here to serve you. So any feedback, welcome.